Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Here's your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with words of wisdom, and I'm not just pulling words of wisdom from our card deck, but I'm going to share a little bit of my Tony Robbins life mastery stuff with you because in teaching it to you, I learn it better. A little bit of water here. No, a lot of water. They've been making us drink lots of water. Good morning, Cindy. Welcome. Glad you are here. First one popping on today. Awesome, awesome. We are supposed to get up to almost 80 today here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is April, isn't it? Oof. So I'll be in the house most of the day because I'll be on day 3 of Life Mastery. Good morning, Janine. Welcome. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. It looks like someone else is here too. No name rolling though. Yes, yes. So good morning, Jonille. Welcome. Glad you're here. Awesome, awesome. Hi from your bed. Ooh, how lovely. Yes, I slept like a rock last night. We went from, I think it was 8:30 yesterday morning to, we finally got lunch at like 2:30, and we went until, wasn't as late last night, 8:39, somewhere in that ballpark. So learning amazing things, some of which I want to share with you today. And I see my little, nope, this side there, my little beam of light. I like that when that shines into my brain. I think that is helpful. No, I have not. No, I have not. I'll have to reach out to her. First, I got to get through this thing. Good morning, BJ. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, today's card is freaking awesome. I looked at it and I smiled because it was one of the words that I picked for yesterday as part of a process we were doing. And here it is, it popped up today. So I want to share it all with you. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. So we have for today, first let's take our breaths. Nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, a little deeper. Out through the mouth. Good morning, Gwen. And one more. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Just enjoying how all of those deep breaths make you feel. Maybe a little lightheaded, which means you aren't breathing enough on a daily basis. We'll work on that. Periodically during the course of this, I'm going to have us take a breath or two. But our card comes from Stephen D. Farmer, who he describes himself, a soul healer, shamanic practitioner, ordained minister, and licensed psychotherapist. There's a bunch of stuff. Oh dear. Well, we'll send good energy your way, Carolyn. That's scary stuff. That is scary stuff. Good morning, good morning. Glad you're here with us. Yes. Here we go. Shit happens, right? So we'll talk about this as we're working our way through this stuff. But here's our book, Stephen D. Farmer, Earth Magic. Good morning, Bobby. Welcome. Glad you're here. So this one is crystals, focus. And focus is actually the middle step of this triad I'm going to teach you because, again, in teaching you, I learn better. So just on the word focus, let's take a breath. Let it go. One more. Let it go. And I still come from the perspective, and I know some people don't buy into this, but things happen for a reason. And step number 3 here, Carolyn, in the process we're going to be talking about, this triad, let's use what happened with the neighbor's garage as the point of practice for step 3. All right? I think it'll be good. So focus, focus, focus. Good morning, Beth. Glad you are here from the Upers. I love our Uper contingent. You guys are awesome. So here it is, crystals, focus. If you can, close your eyes, just so you can soak up the words. Here we see an amethyst crystal cave. Well, you can open your eyes and look at the crystal cave first. Then we'll have you close your eyes. Bathed in the water from a river. The points of light representing the spiritual force that these crystals generate. So you can see over here, whoops, right there, points of light. Yep. Representing the spiritual force that these crystal beings generate. Everything has a vibration. Everything has, yes, I love my trolls too. And for those of you who don't understand that, Michigan has an upper Michigan and a lower Michigan. And the upper Michiganders like to call the lower Michiganders trolls because they're below the bridge. Amethyst, as well as other types of quartz crystals, have been used for thousands of years in magic and healing, as well as for intensifying psychic abilities. Since its violet color is the same as the crown chakra, let's take a moment, tap our crown chakra, take a breath, let it go. Notice how your focus improves. It has often been referred to as the spiritual stone. Amethyst is a spiritual stone. I love crystals. I love rocks. I love our rock brothers and sisters. I just think they're awesome. I've got rocks all over the place. The nature of quartz crystals, the second most common element in the Earth's crust, so there's your little bit of wisdom for today, is that they help focus the power of our life force or spirit. This next sentence, drill it into our heads, okay? Where attention goes, power flows. Where attention goes, power flows. So what happens when we focus on what we don't want? What happens when we focus on all the BS that's going on in our world? That's where our power goes. That's why we feel drained. That's why we are so, the world's going to a hell in a handbasket. Yes, thank you, Cindy. That is so powerful right there. If you take nothing else away from what I share with you today, take that with you. Where do you want to flow your precious power? Right? Do you want to keep lamenting what a mess things are? Or do you want to focus on the things that are actually working and put your energy there? Wouldn't that be lovely? Yes. Okay. Where attention goes, power flows, and crystals magnify this power tenfold. Our intention influences where our attention goes, and that's why I'm going to teach you this triad here, because I think it's going to help you cultivate your intention. Rather than it being sort of willy-nilly or happenstance, something catches your mind and runs with it, we're going to be more directed. How do I want my Saturday to go? This one divine, perfect April 27th, 2024 Saturday. How do I want it to go? What results would I like to get out of this day? Do I want a peaceful, calm day? Do I want a clean out my house day? Do I want a physical activity day? Do I want a good eating day? Do I want a connection with others day? All the above? Fabulous. Yay you. When we're consciously aware of our intention, when we choose to set it, it facilitates the focus of that spiritual power and supports the manifestation in material reality of that intention. I can't tell you how many times there's this little book, Write It Down, Make It Happen. Love it. It's an older book. Write it down, make it happen. The gist, though, is even when we write it down, put the list away, amazing things can happen. And if we write it down and we keep it in front of us, even more amazing things can happen. It is time to bring your complete focus to the subject of your inquiry. Yesterday, I was distracted as hell. So I'm on the Zoom for Tony Robbins, and I kept checking emails because I had several people who I'm trying to schedule appointments with for the housing project that we're doing. And so I was bouncing back and forth, and I realized I'm not getting out of this what I could get out of this if I paid attention. So I decided I wasn't going to check the email anymore until we had a break. So, and we don't get breaks very often. Have you noticed that? But when I went in for the break, both of the responses I was looking for were there. So I think that was kind of the universe saying, yes, when you stay focused on what's at hand, when you stay present in the moment, everything opens up. Eliminate all distractions and give this your undivided attention. Whether this is a project, relationship, or simply a relaxing time spent walking in nature, be fully present to the situation. We are one distracted nation. The phone. How many hundreds of times do we look at that thing in the day? So let's practice some things with undivided attention. Like right here, right now. Let's take a breath. Can you feel yourself become more present? Another breath. Awesome. Yay you. Yay you. All right. This sharpening of focus will expand your awareness and allow your inner guidance to penetrate your consciousness, which then can be parlayed into appropriate action. And we're going to see that stuff in this triad that I'm going to teach you. I want to show you the picture again, just because it's so darn pretty. Yep. Let's all go live there. By being focused with crystal clarity, you are in the flow of your life force and, in fact, have become one with it. This is not a hypervigilant or tension-filled state, but one of relaxed attention. Yes, this is a beautiful card. I love this card. Keep your eyes, ears, and heart focused on that which you need to pay attention to, and miracles can be created. To paraphrase a fictional elder, use the force and use it in life-enhancing ways. Yes, so again, what we focus on expands. Where attention goes, power flows. Let's do this for good. Let's do this for our good and the good of others. Good morning, Robin. Glad you are here. We have focus today. Focus, focus. So let me teach you this little Tony Robbins thing, which is very cool and gives you tools for making changes. When you notice that you're inattentive, that you're distractible as hell, that you're just not paying attention the way you want to be able to pay attention, here's some ways to adjust that. So it's called the triad. I'm just going to show you the little image. And again, one of the selfish reasons I'm teaching this to you is because then it sinks into my head better. So, and if any of you decide at any point down the road that you want to go do a Tony Robbins gig, I'd love to then talk with you after the fact what you glean from it, because he's got some amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. So, and the woman who's actually teaching this particular workshop is quite the little powerhouse. She's 60-something, I don't know what, but yesterday she was dancing in heels. She did pretty darn good. So, this triad. What shapes our decisions, both in the short term and in the long term? Answer, there are 3 factors, 3 molders of meaning that shape all of the decisions we make in the moment. There are 3 patterns that shape the meaning we associate with our life experiences. So the first one is patterns of physiology, what you do with your body. So sit up straight, throw your shoulders back. Let's take a nice deep breath. Do you not instantly feel better just by putting your shoulders back and sitting up straight, right? So, got to tell you a story about that, and then I'll read the rest of that little part. We had another exercise where they were teaching us a scale that Tony developed from -15, which is, I am in the shits, to 0, which is kind of neutral, to +15, which is, I am ecstatic, joyful, gleeful, whatever. And then there were words all the way along, and they had us pick where we were. So I was at determined, which I think was a +1. At that point, we hadn't had lunch yet. It's 2-something in the afternoon, so I was a little punky. But, so I gave myself determined. Anybody think I should apply that word to me? Anywho, then they had us do some stuff with this exercise, and then we ranked ourselves again. I don't remember where I was, but I was certainly up the scale. And there's 2,500 people on this call from 71 countries. So people are up at all hours of the day and night to do this program. And they called on a woman from, where the heck was she? Mexico City. Mexico City. And you could see behind her, kind of like you see behind me, books. Lots of books. There we go. That flip screen blows my mind. It's good practice though, right? And she was sitting there And they called on her and they asked her, what number was she? She was a minus 15. She was in desperate straits. She was awful, not feeling good at all. Tears are running. She was just shitty. The coach worked with her for 7 minutes maybe, and by the end, she was at the top of the scale. And she held it. She held it. I mean, you could see her, they flash up a bunch of little screens of all the people who are on, and every once in a while you'd catch a glimpse of her, and she was sitting up and her head was up and she was smiling. The physiology makes a huge difference. So, if you're feeling punky right now, stand up. Stand up. Let's take a breath. Another one. And just so you can appreciate what you just did, the amazingness of your lungs, the last woman who spoke last night was a woman severely hearing impaired, that they didn't figure it out that she was hearing impaired until she was 8. They thought she was cognitively impaired. She was not. She was actually bright, but hearing impaired. All of the places they bounced her around and all of the things that she endured. I mean, oh my God. The one thing, so she's dealing with all of this stuff, a tumultuous home, hearing impairment, getting yanked out of the school where she was actually with a teacher who taught her how to speak. They threw her in public school where she got totally lost because they said she was fixed, right? So she moved across the country. She's a young adult. She's trying to get her life together. She's laying on the beach in the sun, and the Jeep from the lifeguards runs her over. Her head, her torso, 5 years of working her way back to reasonable health. Listening to the shit that happened to this woman and where she is now, and she referenced another woman, Ruth, who she met in the course of being a public speaker, etc. And Ruth was born a healthy child, had, I don't know if it was a high fever or what it was, but ended up with CP, wheelchair bound, paralyzed from here down, couldn't speak. They had to give her shots prior to feeding her so that she wouldn't choke to death. On and on and on. The woman wrote 2 books. 2 books. There was a man who realized her potential and created this massive board with normal words on it, and she would look at the word and he would write it down. Look at the word, he would write it down. That's how she wrote her first book. Her second book, there actually was a machine that she could stare at letters and it would put the letters in the book. 2 books. 2 books. So we need to not be saying that we can't do things. We need to give ourselves credit for what we are able to do. We make choice. I'm able to do that, but I choose not to. That is a choice. It's a valid choice. We get to decide. But back to physiology, what we do with our bodies. Emotion is created by motion. So if you're punky, if you're depressed, if you're feeling terrible, there was a psychiatrist that I worked with on the children's unit at one of the facilities I was at. His sessions were done walking. He took the kids out on the track and they walked. All day long, this guy was walking. Why? Because he understood that mobilizing someone who's depressed makes a difference. Whatever you're feeling right now is related to how you're using your body. Your physiology includes things like your breath. So let's take one. Let it go. And one more for good measure. Awesome. Posture, movement, facial expression. If someone, when you're in a crappy mood and someone says, smile, you just want to slap them upside the head, right? But there is validity to that. If we can plaster the smile on our face, it will help our physiology. There are times when we want to stay in the dumps. I want my 3-minute white hot pity party. Knock yourself out, sunshine, go for it. But then get over it and move on. Life is too short. Life is such a gift. Let's not squander the gift, all right? So that's your physiology, what you do with your body, right? So we have to keep practicing, especially those of us who spend a lot of time at the computer, because you kind of get like this, right? No, sit up, get the head back, etc. 2 is our word for today. Focus. Focus, focus, focus. There's that pretty picture again, too, just to make you smile. All right? Whatever you focus on, you will feel. So if you do a body scan and you pay attention to, let's say I hurt my shoulder, and so I'm paying attention to the pain in my shoulder, right? I think it's useful to go into that and work with it. But I also want, what do I want to feel here? What do I want to feel here? I want to feel range of motion. I want to feel zero pain, etc. Okay? What are you focusing on? Consistent focus equals consistent feelings. That's why I have the things on my desk that I do, like my little thing from Bobby Silverstone. She believed she could, so she did. I stick that in front of my face so that when I get into, I can look at that and go, no, I can, I will, I believe I can, I will. What are you giving attention to in this moment? So right now, stop. What are you giving attention to? Some of you are giving attention to me. Some of you are giving attention to the fact that you have to go to the bathroom. Some of you are giving attention to the fact that you have a steaming hot cup of tea or coffee that smells wonderful in front of you. Whatever you give your attention to, that's the moment that opens up. What do you believe about the situation? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about others? So there's that focal point. Shitty things always happen to me. Like when she got run over by the Jeep. She certainly could have done the poor me, my life sucks, I give up, I quit, blah, blah. Right? Okay, so we've got the physiology, we've got the focus. Third one is, and this is the one that I think, Carolyn, might be helpful for you, patterns of language and meaning. Patterns of language and meaning. As soon as we put words to an experience, it changes the meaning of our experiences. And I'm going to suggest it also changes the experience, because they have done research on people attending to a circumstance. And when we do that, we influence that circumstance, even if it's just with thought. Even if it's just with thought. The words, patterns of language, and questions we ask ourselves have a huge impact on what we feel and do in the moment. What are some of the words and phrases you use on a consistent basis? Put some of them in the feed. What do you say often? What story do you find yourself telling repeatedly? Is that a story you want to continue to tell? Is it a story that uplifts you and others? Or is it a story that drags you down? Right? I often have found myself telling shitty stories over and over and over again. So they need to go. They need to go. What words do you use consistently? I had a client who oftentimes would describe things as terrible. That was her word. Oh, that's terrible. It's just terrible. Yep, that's terrible. And finally I stopped her and I said, do you notice how often you use the word terrible? And she didn't. So we worked on replacing that word. Replacing that word. If you call something inconvenient, don't you feel different about it than if you call it terrible? Remember, shortly ago I talked about that social psychology experiment, that people who witnessed a videotape of a car accident half asked how fast were the cars going when they bumped together. The other half asked how fast were they going when they smashed together. Influenced the miles per hour they estimated those cars to be moving. One word difference, that's all. What words do you pick? What words do you pick? I often have used the word overwhelmed. That needs to go. That needs to go. Challenged might be a better word. And I can rise to the challenge because I am determined, right? Are you stressed, overwhelmed, or fearful? Or are you excited, grateful, and proud? Do you ask yourself, why does this always happen to me? Or do you focus on what's great about this? Or how can I make it the way I want it? Or what am I meant to learn from this? That's one I've used a lot. What am I meant to learn from this? Instead of, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening for me? Why is the universe giving me this particular gnarly experience? What can I learn from it? Okay? So there's your triad: physiology, focus, and language and meaning. You can change any and all of those. Yes, your home was safe. Fabulous. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Find those silver linings, Carolyn. Absolutely find those silver linings. You may find the grass that was burned comes back greener. You may find that now you have the opportunity to plant some new trees. What trees would you like to plant? And here's the optimist, right? Planting trees that you may never see at full peak, but you're planting for the future. You're planting for the future. So, one more time looking at our beautiful card here. Focus. Let's practice again. Breath. Out. In. Out. This time taking in that blessing and gratitude that Carolyn's feeling. In. And out. And now go forth into your Saturday and have an awesome, amazing day. Can't wait to see what I teach you tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.